Welcome, everybody. We are here again today to talk about stress. And especially today, we're talking about stress in relationships during the pandemic. It's day 26 of the 30 days, 30 tips of the Burnout Challenge. And I'm Vasik Sarandopoulou, and I'm a psychologist. So let's talk today about the stress during the pandemic, and especially the stress that the couples feel. Can lockdown create stress in relationships? That was a question that I got from one of my followers in Instagram because I see other couples that they're more happy, and I'm wondering what's happening with when relationships are struggling during the pandemic. Indeed, the numbers of married couples that they have been filing for a divorce during the pandemic has increased. Also, the number of incidents of domestic abuse have also increased, has also increased. So you see that there's a specific emotional burden on relationships during the pandemic. At the same time, what I would like to point out is that I have also seen couples that they grew stronger during the pandemic. Couples that they found the pandemic as a period that actually cemented the loving relationship, the loving connection that they have had. So what is different between one type of couple and the other? First of all, let's accept that the social isolation is heavy for everybody. It's heavy for all couples. It can be very frustrating. And actually, it's part of a healthy relationship to have connections, to have friends, to have other people that you can connect and you can communicate and to socialize. So the relationship itself, it's not supposed to fill in all the roles and satisfy all the needs we have as human beings. We are meant to have other people supporting us and therefore supporting a relationship. So, what can be external reasons, external factors that they impose more stress in a relationship? First of all, let's talk about couples with children. Homeschooling. Homeschooling, I mean, I cannot understand I cannot imagine the pressure that couples with two or three kids, even one kid, have every day when they have to homeschool their kids, when they have to be not only parents, but also working people, but also teachers and carers. So all these combined can be a huge and immense stress on a couple. Another thing can be, of course, the work pressure, the changes in the work settings, adapting to the new way of meeting and having all the online meetings and communicating in a completely different way with the colleagues and with the managers. That also can be a work pressure on top of all the others. Another thing that can be different and very stressful can be the long working hours. Now we're working most of the time from home, and the boundaries between work life and personal life can be a little bit blurred. So we tend to work all day because we have breaks in between the day, or maybe we forget to have breaks. And we tend to be with the same clothes from the moment we wake up until the day we go back to bed. So this can be for some people a temptation to work more hours, a possibility so that they can be behind the computer without understanding it for many hours. So that can be extra burden. Another thing that we don't have because of the pandemic is support. We used to have families with kids, they used to have babysitters, or maybe they had the daycare, or they used to have a few days off because the kids they were at the relatives, at other family members. But now we don't have that luxury. So that means that no daycare, no babysitters, no family visits are not available anymore. So they have to do everything 24/7. And that's a lot. Also, we don't have the option to visit our friends as much as we used to do that. We don't have the possibility to invite friends. We don't have the possibility, the option to go out and get a break from this routine, or to go on holidays, or to visit family. So that can be too much in regards to external factors. In regards to internal factors, and that's something that it's not so obvious to see, but then that can be related with the core reasons why There's a lot of challenges in relationships during the lockdown. And that can be emotional struggles within the couple. And that means that there were probably previous issues in the relationship that they were not addressed, that they were not resolved, and now surface. And now the problems are more exposed into the everyday life. Another thing can be that couples didn't have a coping mechanism on how to support each other or cope with difficulties, overwhelming difficulties like this. So when problems used to arise in the relationship, we used to address them in more of an avoidance way. We used to go back to work. We used to let it slide. We used to forget about the problems. But now we cannot do that because we're stuck with each other every day, 24/7. So all these things, they come on the surface, but we don't have a coping mechanism. We don't know how to communicate. We don't know how to support each other. And that is something that we're paying the price for. So what I want to say is that the couples that they have dealt with lockdown in a growing way, in a healthy way, and the couples that they are not coping well with the lockdown do not have different problems, or the healthy couples are not the couples that they don't have problems. They both have problems. They both face challenges. But the couple that they are actually growing during the pandemic are the ones that they have more healthy coping mechanisms. That's the difference. So a few ideas before we finish this tip today about the lockdown and relationships. So agree on personal space and personal time. Let's start with that. Let's agree that the fact that we are together 24/7 doesn't mean that we have to be together all the time. Personal space and personal time is one of the fundamental elements of a healthy relationship. We have to accept that I need to be by myself for a couple of minutes or an hour or something like that. And that's normal and that's okay. That doesn't mean that I reject you. So let's agree with that. Sit with your partner and discuss when it's going to be my time and how it's going to be okay if I take my time off being with you all the time. So that's part of boundaries. Another part of boundaries is, and especially if you live in a small space, in a tight space, agree with each other if you need any headphones so that you can isolate, you can hear your personal music without annoying the other person, without disrupting the schedule of the other person. Make a schedule together on separating, putting some boundaries on how we're going to spend our time. When is the time for the house chores? When is the time for work? When it's time for connection? Don't forget that, because if we expect that we will find some time for connection, maybe that will time, and especially these blurry boundaries that we have, may never come. And during that time for connection, make some time for quality conversations. Discuss things that you would like to talk to with each other, and check in with your partners. How are you feeling? How was the week so far for you? How are you feeling with all this pandemic? And also share your feelings and your needs. And when I say your needs, I mean ask and make it very explicit. What do you need from your partner in order to support you? Do you need physical connection? Do you need a hug? Or do you need to talk to somebody? Or do you need somebody to just to vent? Make it specific. What do you need realistically? And not, I need holidays, because you know that this is not an option right now. Less social media. That can be actually a temptation, because we go behind our mobile phone and we can forget that other people exist around us. Also discuss the possibility for couples therapy. Maybe that's the time that you can have an external help. You can have a professional help you navigate through your challenges and your coping mechanisms in your relationship. Also, notice the positive, not only the negative things that happen in your life, but also notice the positive things that happen. And make it explicit. Talk about the things that you like about your partner. Talk about the nice things, even if it's just a tiny second in a day that you enjoyed the day. So That was my tip on how to help couples in pandemic. And you take it from there, ask your questions, and let me know if you need any more help and if you need any more advice, if you need resources. And I will be here to help you. Take good care of yourself. I know it's a really difficult period, and we're doing our best. Take good care. Have a nice day.